Okay, I want you guys to imagine like a endless land, a land where there's trees, there's forests, and you have a group of friends. You know, maybe one's a famous archer, a famous wizard, your friendly neighborhood hero, and imagine all those stories and wealth of knowledge you gain from those. And can anyone explain to me what I'm talking about? No, it's not movies. Thank you for your input. No, it's not TV. Thank you. I'm talking about books. Okay? Reading books. Okay? This is why I think reading books is such an essential skill in life that I'm moving my hands too much. I'm sorry. That everyone needs to do it. You know, you guys need to stop staring at your phones. You're not getting an important text right now, so stop looking at TV. And I want you guys to start reading books. Okay? And I have three main reasons. Reading can help you mentally and healthy with your health. It's useful at any age. Little kids, so we can use it. Adults, and when you're old. And lastly, there's plenty of reading materials out there. It's not just books that I'm focusing on, but it's everything else. I like to read comic books, and there's other things, magazines and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go up with the first one. Reading can help you out mentally and helps you with the health. Okay, I got this from the online education database. Scientists discovered that a 6-month daily reading program from Carnegie Mellon that a volume of white matter in the language area of the brain increased and showed brain structure can be improved, which makes it more important to adult love of reading. The white matter, when I was reading it first, I was thinking, that's probably bad. We've all seen the movie, TV shows, white matter itself sounds, wrong. So I'm thinking, no, white matter is a good thing. It shows improvement in the brain structure, and that's what they want to look for, okay? Robert S. Wilson, he's a doctor, professor of neuropsychology at Rush University Medical Center, says pastimes like reading, writing, and many others make the brain more efficient by changing its structure to continue properly in spite of age-related neuropathology. So saying and thinking that you have an intellectual pastimes, not just, going out, drinking with your friends, and maybe looking at your phone. Oh my God, Miley Cyrus is twerking. No, I'm talking about reading. Staying at home, reading helps you out at all different ages and helps you out with less types of diseases that I'll talk further on. Okay, the benefits reading gives your health are double-edged. I don't know what you guys double-edged. To me, it sounds like a double-edged sword. There's good and bad. Like yesterday, Kobe came back. We were all happy, but the team lost. That's kind of like good and bad. So we continue on with this little quote. First, you can acquire the appropriate information which can help you improve your health and life. Secondly, if you read on a regular basis, it can help you relax and quieten your mind, which in turn can help you reduce your stress levels. So reading, reading those health books helps you, with your, later on, your daughter, your sister is sick. Well, guess what? I read a book. I know what's going on. You don't have to look at your phone, do this last minute, should I call the doctor or anything? And then, as you guys might know, reading books, de-stresses you out. Reading a specific book, any type of book, you get in the moment, you think you're that person. I mean, me personally, when I read a book, I think I'm like that extra character, that silent character that's walking by. In Hunger Games, I was that one tribute that survived, There is Katniss and Peeta, but there is Eric too. I mean, he survived. But in Harry Potter, I was the fourth guy. Harry didn't like to talk to me. And those other two guys, I didn't care about those two guys because they weren't interesting to me. Okay, and I'm sure that some of you guys do this. But when you guys watch movies, some of you guys might watch Hunger Games and Catching Fire. You can't really put yourself in there. I mean, it's visually entertaining and stuff, but you know that you're not in there. In a book, I'm able to put myself in there. I'm a third guy. Occasionally, I even crack jokes and think that they're laughing, but they're not. Okay, and that leads with any age, okay? It's useful with any age. Okay, according to readingisfundamental.org, reading books out loud to children stimulates their imagination, expands their understanding of the world, it helps them develop language and listening skills, and prepares them to understand the written world. As you've seen, reading to young kids at young ages, they get more advanced, in school, they're, can read a book. We've seen, videos of little kids probably 1 or 2 years old, reading a book, and you're thinking about yourself, like, what was I doing at the time? When I was like 1 year old, I was probably crying to my mom. I was in the dirt eating sand. I was that kid, you know. I'm not proud of it, but I wish my mom, you know, helped me read a couple of books. It would have been a nice, you know, bonding experience, but obviously that didn't happen. I'm here. Like that. I'm here because I'm making numbers of that. Probably some other things, but you know. Okay, according to a study published in the journal Neurology, people who participate in creative and intellectual pastimes like reading and writing over their lifetime had 32% slower later life decline in their cognitions than those. So as we can see, reading, you know, helps you, you know, keep your brain active. You don't want to be, you know, later on in life, you don't want to be the hundreds of millions who are, you know, what's that word? They can't read. I don't know why. Even I can't think of it right now. Yeah, illiterate. Thank you. Yeah, so you don't want to be one of those type of people. And obviously we're not, because we're all here. I mean, we have some sense of reading. The National Endowment of Arts showed a link between pleasure reading and better scores. The most pronounced improvement, unsurprisingly, occurred on exams focusing on analyzing reading, writing, and verbal skills. I think we all know this. Reading helps us out later on, especially when you're reading for tests and you're studying. You know, it's obvious, you know, link reading can help you out with tests and stuff. But this was a study done by the National Endowment of Arts, and then there's more too, but I didn't want to bother you with that. Emma Taylor, a staff writer at Best Colleges Online, wrote, "Readers tend to display more adroit verbal skills than those who are not found as books. They tend to sport higher vocabularies, which increase exponentially with the volume of literature consumed and may discern context faster." So reading those books helps you out socially. You know, when you're out with friends, you know, you can talk about maybe a new thing. Like Andrea was talking about learning a new language. Guess what? You can learn a new language while you're reading. And I don't think you guys know that, but they are how to learn to read books. Okay, so all you guys got to do is just look for that. A British medical journal found academics at the French National Institute of Medical Research showed correlations between a mind who reads and a low risk of dementia. Obviously, literature isn't going to act as a cure. You can't just stop it with reading, but non-readers are 18% more likely to develop a condition and experience worsened systems. 18%, guys, you know, 18% is a lot. I mean, think about this test right now. 18% can be like 2 grades. I mean, you don't want to get dementia, Alzheimer's, and all these other things that later in life can dampen your life. You don't want to put that kind of deep damp on your family later on in life. Okay, and then the last one. There's a plethora of reading materials out there. Reading is the best source of information. Books have been around for hundreds of years. The Bible and other religions from different cultures are probably the earliest books ever written, and they're like a guide and rule book to life. This is from a website called the Self-Help Fix, and that's just one of the many things, you know, Bibles. We also have bibliotherapy. This is from a journal, close one. Bibliotherapy is reading a self-help book and having therapy to go along with it. Some of us have, you know, some of us might not, some of us might have therapy, but reading a self-help book and getting help with that helps you out even further than reading it yourself, because you might understand some of the concepts, some of the other things. And then this last one from yourdictionary.com. All books are either nonfiction and fiction. There's 2 types of books that can be further divided into many sub-types called genres, which include sci-fi, satire, drama, romances, mystery, horror, and comic books. Now, sometimes people laugh at me like, oh, when I say I read comic books, they say that's not reading. Are picture books, reading materials? Yeah, they are, I guess so. That's what I thought, guy who's talking over there. And like an interesting fact, it puts you in the mood. I don't know if you guys know about this, but Spider-Man, he's not just Peter Parker. There's a black Spider-Man and there's a Hispanic Spider-Man, that's how I put it. And that Hispanic Spider-Man, called Miles Morales, I think I'm that guy. I mean, when I'm reading those pages and I'm just looking at those drawings, I'm that guy, and I can do that because of comic books. Sure, you can watch Tobey Maguire or whoever the hell this guy is. Andrew Garfield, you know, look good with that hair when he pops out his mask. But it's not the same as reading in a magazine, constantly fighting bad guys. I'm that guy fighting those bad guys, guys. You might be reading those books, and next time you're going to be thinking, whoa, what is Eric doing right here? I'm going to put that thought in your mind after this, okay? So, all in all, in conclusion, I want you guys to start reading. I mean, it has health effects, mental effects. It helps you out at any age. And there's a plethora of of reading materials out there, so I should stop waving my hands and
You should have taken off your shirt and
no. Last time.
All right, Tracy, what did you think?
I think you talk really fast. You can afford to slow down a little bit. You have a habit of saying okay or okay after a lot of your transitions and points. But overall, you have really solid points, and you're really good at explaining your points to make it really relatable to us. And you have really good audience participation because we're all paying attention and laughing and going along with it.
All right, well, I'll go along with a lot of that. I do think you need to practice a little bit more. It needs to be tighter, and sometimes you're wandering off on topics. Toward the end, it just seemed like I got a kind of a stack of advice that goes along with reading instead of it being integrated into the speech, and I think that's a little bit problematic. But I would agree that you do a nice job trying to connect with the audience. Using your own personal experience, the way you visualize yourself in the stories is a way of getting the audience to identify with what you're talking about and get an emotional connection to what's going on there. I think you do pretty well on that. Your eye contact's a little bit inconsistent because you're still dependent on the notes, but you know, at least you're not waving a page around in front of us. And I think that you need to be a little, like I said, the vocal things, you just need some practice on those kinds of issues because you just rely on a casual transition word or phrase instead of something that just seems a little more polished and a little more rehearsed. And as a consequence, it feels like a diamond in the rough. That's a good way to visualize it as opposed to something negative. Your body is swaying and shifting around the whole time you're talking. You need to calm down. That's where all of your energy is coming out, and you want to put it more deliberately into the presentation instead of having it leak out that way. All right, thank you.